Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 15, text number 49, 50 and 51. We are going to finish this chapter today. So please chant. Viduro api parityajya
Viduropi parityajya
Viduropi parityajya Prabhase deham atmanah Prabhase deham atmanah Krishna vashena tacchitta Krishna vasena tacchitta Pitrabhi swakshayam yayau Pitrabhi swakshayam yayau Vidura, the uncle of Maharaj Yudhishthira. Api, also. Parityajya, after quitting the body. Prabhase, in the place of pilgrimage at Prabhas. Deham atmanah, his body. Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Aveshena, being absorbed in that thought. Tat is chitta, thoughts and actions. Pitrabhihi, along with the residents of Pitraloka. Swakshayam, his own abode. Yayau, departed. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Vidura, while on pilgrimage, left his body at Pravas. Because he was absorbed in thought of Lord Krishna, he was received by the denizens of Pitraloka planet, where he returned to his original post. Please repeat. Vidura, while on pilgrimage, left his body at Prabhas. Because he was absorbed in thought of Lord Krishna, he was received by the denizens of Pitraloka planet, where he returned to his original post. Purport. The difference between the Pandavas and Vidura is that the Pandavas are eternal associates of the Lord, the personality of Godhead, whereas Vidura is one of the administrative devata in charge of the Pitraloka planet and is known as Yamaraj. Men are afraid of Yamaraj because it is he only who awards punishment to the miscreants of the material world. But those who are devotees of the Lord have nothing to fear from him. The devotees he is a cordial friend, but to non-devotees is fear personified. As we have already discussed, it is understood that Yamaraj was cursed by Manduka Muni to be degraded as a Shudra, and therefore Vidura was an incarnation of Yamaraj. As an eternal servitor of the Lord, He displayed his devotional activities very ardently and lived a life of a pious man. So much so that a materialistic man like Dhritarashtra also got salvation by his instruction. So by his pious activities in the devotional service of the Lord, he was able to always remember the lotus feet of the Lord, and thus he became washed of all contamination of a Shudra born life. At the end, he was again received by the denizens of Pitraloka and posted in his original position. The Devatas are also associates of the Lord without personal touch, whereas the direct associates of the Lord are in constant personal touch with him. The Lord and his personal associates incarnate in many universes without cessation. The Lord remembers them all, whereas the associates forget due to their being very minute parts and parcels of the Lord. They are apt to forget such incidents due to being infinitesimal. This is corroborated in the Bhagavad Gita 4.5. 4.5 goes like this. Shri Bhagavan Ovacha Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacharjuna tane aham veda sarvani na tvam vetha parantapa. The personality of Godhead said, many births both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot, O subduer of enemy. So we take 15. Draupadi cha tadagyaya
Draupadi cha tadagyaya
patinam anapekshatam
patinam anpekshatam
vasudeve bhagavati
vasudeve bhagavati
ya ekantamatirapatam.
ekantamatirapatam.
Draupadi also saw that her husbands, without caring for her, were leaving home. She knew well about Lord Vasudeva, Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Both she and Subhadra became absorbed in thoughts of Krishna and attained the same results as their husbands. Purport. When flying on an airplane, one cannot take care of other planes. Everyone has to take care of his own plane, and if there is any danger, no other plane can help another in that condition. Similarly, at the end of life, when one has to go back home, back to Godhead, everyone has to take care of himself without help rendered by another. The help is, however, offered on the ground before flying in space. Similarly, the spiritual master, the father, the mother, the relatives, the husband and the others can all render help during one's lifetime. But while crossing the sea, one has to take care of himself and utilize the instructions formerly received. Draupadi had 5 sons and no one asked Draupadi to come. Draupadi had 5, she also had 5 sons. Draupadi had 5 husbands and no one asked Draupadi to come. Draupadi had to take care of herself without waiting for her great husband. And because she was already trained, she at once took to concentration upon the lotus feet of Lord Vasudeva Krishna, the personality of Godhead. The wives also got the same result as their husband in the same manner. That is to say, without changing their bodies, they reached the destination of Godhead. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur suggests that both Draupadi and Subhadra, although her name is not mentioned herein, got the same result. None of them had to quit the body. Take 51, the last one. Yah shraddhayet tad bhagavat priyanam tad bhagavat priyanam pando sutanam iti samprayanam Shrunoti alam swastyayanam pavitram labdva harau bhaktim upayati siddhim upayati siddhim. The subject of the departure of the sons of Pandu for the ultimate goal of life, back to Godhead, is fully auspicious and is perfectly pure. Therefore, Anyone who hears this narration with devotional faith certainly gains the devotional service of the Lord, the highest perfection of life. Purport. Srimad Bhagavatam is a narration about the personality of Godhead and the devotees of the Lord like the Pandavas. The narration of the personality of Godhead and his devotees is absolute in itself, and thus to hear it with a devotional attitude is to associate with the Lord and constant companions of the Lord. By the process of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, one can attain the highest perfection of life, namely going back to Godhead without failure. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the first canto, 15th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Pandavas Retire Timely. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Namine. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Viduropi Parityajya Prabhase Dehamatmanah Krishna Vashena Tachitta Pitrabhi Swakshayam Yayau. Vidura, while on pilgrimage, left his body at Prabhas because he was absorbed in the thought of Lord Krishna. He was received by the denizens of Pitraloka planet, where he returned to his original post. Let's take this one first. Vidura, he saw how he instructed Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was living in his nephew's house, and it was Vidura who made him aware that that's not right. These are the same people you plotted and planned and tried to kill them for the sake of your son, and now you are living in their house and they are just throwing some food at you. So he compared him to a dog, and then Dhritarashtra understood, and he immediately left the house and he left his body. His body burnt out because he was so powerful tapasya, austerity. And then we saw how Yudhishthir Maharaj prepared for his departure, and the Pandavas followed. Now Sutta Goswami is talking about Vidura, Mahatma Vidura. So he was on the pilgrimage, and then he left his body at Prabhasa. It's in the Himalayas, there's a place called Prabhasa. And he says because he was absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna at that time, he was received by. So there's a difference here, Pandavas went back to Goloka Vrindavan Dham, whereas Vidura did not go there. He just went to his Pitraloka. So somebody may ask, what is this? Is Vidura less devotee than Pandavas? No. He's still a devotee. He's a great devotee. But he has to carry his service. Vidura is none other than Yamaraj. And he came from Pitraloka, to take part in this pastime. And when the pastime is over, he goes back and resumes his duty. So it's like, he has taken a, Leela break. Because Krishna Leela is to take place, and his role is there in that, so it took break. And of course, this is just a insignificant time for the Devatas. Like for Brahma, it was 100 years here. For Brahma, it was just a few seconds, 2 minutes, like that. The same way, Yamaraj also just came, and he just took, as I said, he took a break and he went back. And so Prabhupada in his purports explains nicely that devotees are not scared of Yamaraj. Everybody else is scared of Yamaraj because Yamaraj comes and he doesn't even come himself. He just sends his dutas, Yamadutas. But if you are wearing a Tulsi mala, Kanti mala, and you are chanting, then the scripture says that Yamdutas will not come near you. You become the property of Vishnu Dutas. They take you back to Vaikuntha Dham or even to the next body if you have not completed your thing. So completed your devotional service, like that. So everybody we know, the moment you talk of Yamaraj, people are scared. They may joke about him. They may show him somebody, riding a buffalo, and sometimes people make fun of him these days. But in their hearts, everybody is scared, scared to death, as you say. Already, you're dying, so you're scared to death. That's why the phrase is scared to death. So death is very, very scary. Scriptures say that it is like 64,000 scorpions biting you at the same time. How much pain you will feel? That is the pain of death. And Yamara generally does not miss. His computer doesn't fail. Only when Krishna intervenes, it's like a special privilege. Krishna pushes some keys, and then the computer program changes for somebody. Generally, Krishna doesn't interfere. He interferes only for devotees. So there's one nice, I'm reminded of a nice small story where you can see how Yamaraj is perfect in his job. And that's the service, because he's punishing the people who have not committed themselves to devotional service. So there was a bird sitting in a tree. Just casually just sitting, and he's having a little relaxation time. The old bird, of course. So suddenly he sees Yamaraj going on his vehicle, and Yamaraj casually looks at him, just like that. As you go, you look here and there. So he looks at him, and he continues. This bird becomes disturbed. He says, "Why Yamaraj had to look at me?" And he has heard some Bhagavad Katha here and there. So he says, "Oh, if Yamaraj looks at you, that means your time has come." He decides that let me run away from here. This is not a place to stay. So he starts flying. It's an eagle, big eagle. He starts flying, and he flies and flies and flies. Goes all the way where he could, few miles away. Just matter of minutes. And there is a big hill there. So he flies all the way up to the hill. Then takes, shelter under a tree, and he says, now I'm safe. As he's talking, thinking like that, he has a massive heart attack and he collapses, leaves the body. And Yamaraj is coming back after, he had gone to meet somebody, and he's coming back, and he remembers looking at that eagle in the tree. So he looks at the tree again while going, and he doesn't see the eagle. So he's wondering, he says, what happened to this guy? He was here. So anyway, he just goes back and, asks the accountant, just check this one bird, I saw him on the way, and, I thought that his time has come, but when I came back, he was not there. And the accountant says, sir, actually his death was written about 25 miles away on a hill under a tree. So he flew there and he died there. So Yamaraj is a devotee. He's a great devotee of Krishna. And that's why when we saw the case of Ajamil, the Yamadutas come first because Ajamil was a very big sinner. But he called for his son Narayan because he had chanted Krishna's name. The Vishnu Dutas came and there was a big argument between Vishnu Duta and Yamadutas. And when Yamadutas went back to Yamraj to find out what's going on, Yamraj confirmed that no, you cannot take it away because it is not under your purview anyway. So this is Vidura. Then we come to the next one, where description about Draupadi is there. Draupadi cha tadagyaya patinam anapekshatam vasudeve bhagavati ekanta matir apatam. Draupadi also saw that her husbands, without caring for her, were leaving home. She knew well about Lord Vasudeva, Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Both she and Subhadra became absorbed in thoughts of Krishna and attained the same result as their husbands. So here we see that these Pandavas, like Yudhishthir, left without telling his brothers. Their brothers left without telling their wives. And so Draupadi could understand that these people have left me just like that. Anapekshatam, meaning did not care. So she also decided that, okay, let me also, of course they are devotees, so they are actually thinking of Krishna most of the time, but now they are more determined to just focus totally. And of course, Sutta Goswami said they also got the same result. And Srila Prabhupada, comes out of this wonderful example of a plane, one plane cannot help another plane. But they can get help on the ground. Before it takes off, it gets all the help. But once it is in the air, no other plane can save. Nobody can do anything. The same way, once we have taken the birth, the soul has accepted a body, then you are on your own. Some ground help is available in terms of guru, father, mother, etc. But then when we have to go all alone. Nobody comes to your rescue, isn't it? We cannot say, I belong to so and so family, my father is so rich, he has donated, he is a life member of his cause, he's donated some money, so now you save me, or you save him. I can't even see Yamdutas, only the person sees. So, same way Draupadi had to take care of herself. And because she was already trained, that's why training is important. Why do we chant 16 rounds? Why do we hear Bhagavatam? Why do we read Bhagavad Gita? Because this way it trains us. Some training is available so that we can utilize the training and go back. The same way Draupadi fully utilized that. And then of course in the purport and in the translation we see Subhadra's name also. So here Prabhupada explained that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said, although her name is not there, but she also left the body like that because her brother. Of course, they were all very intimate associates of the Lord. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this chapter. Now we are going to start from tomorrow, chapter 16, which is how Parikshit received the age of Kali. So that is a chapter. Now actually we see punishment and reward of Kali, Maharaj Parikshit, cursed by Brahmana boy, appearance of Shukadeva. So these are all four. So in the beginning of Kali Yuga, how Kali entered, all those descriptions are there. So I know it's very, very interesting. So thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
मिनट लो ना। हरे कृष्णा। जी बोल। 1 मिनट माता जी।